I don't think it.
This right here is your worst nightmare.
This right here, you gotta get over it.
The way you're feeling right now, you gotta think.
Last round.
There is new footage of Zeli Big Bang Zhang and him and Sean George, his trainer, that they've made a nice portfolio together. What I seen in that, I seen a power puncher, very big man, very powerful man, and what the coach Sean George said, that's his worst nightmare, and what it is, it's his stamina. This man, Zeli Zang, could probably be, and probably would have been, the heavyweight champion of the world if it wasn't for that one thing that it takes to be there, stamina. Now, at this point, he's 41, 42 years of age. He was just stopped for the first time in his career, his third professional loss as a professional. He knocked out Deontay Wilder. He knocked out Joe Joyce twice. That's his claim to fame. Had a close fight with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, edged it. But he edged it because of the stamina. Now, the Caballero fight, I think, was honest because he was in there with a monster. Because we still don't know what Caballero and how many people Caballero will take out in the division. One thing about Caballero, if he doesn't become world champion, because he's the interim WBC world champion now, but if he doesn't become full champion somewhere, he's going to take a lot of asses out before he leaves the sport. Believe that. But back to Zeli. Zeli, I don't know if that's fixable. I don't really know if, him saying that's his worst nightmare. I just think that's his kryptonite. I think he's older, and I think the older he gets, the more tired he's going to become. You lose so many, whatever the measurements of testosterone is, right? Units or whatever, after 30 every year. And he's 42. So he's lost a lot. That's why boxing is so time consuming and it's important of what you do in a certain window of time, because you don't have time to mess around. You don't have, I can do it in 5 years. No, you have to fight the fights that matter. You have to win these fights against the best in the division. Sometimes, depends on the promoter, let's be real. But Zeli has had a hard road. He's had a hard road. I mean, it only gets tougher fighting younger guys that are 32, that are 10 years, younger than you. And his coach is showing us that, hey, this is the issue with Zeli Zang. I appreciate him showing that. I wouldn't have showed that as a coach. But we all know that Zeli Zang is a half a tank fighter. And that's what we saw. I don't know what round they were on. I'm assuming it was the 9th or the 11th, right? Because he said one round to go. I don't know how many rounds that they were going. I'm just assuming they're, championship rounds or whatnot, And the question is, if they were trying to fix that, what would they do? Would they have him lose weight? That's not always the right thing to do. Ask Joe Joyce, ask Dillian White, ask Andy Ruiz. Losing weight is not always a good thing because you lose power with that, especially on how you lose the weight. And if you lose the weight, it's like, oh, okay, did you lose it by taking some damn Ozempic? You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people do that to lose weight and they look fucking crazy. Imagine, me taking Ozempic because I felt I need to lose weight. And then I still got a big head and a little ass body. That's how, because it's not natural. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the thing they need to do, because there are some things that Zeli Zang could work on. He is walking around with a nice little keg down there. He could work on that. You know what I'm saying? How much nutrients is coming from that belly. He's a big dude, but he's not necessarily a muscular athletic dude. He's just kind of a big guy. So I don't really know what could help him at this point. I just think, and like Sean George, his trainer says that, hey, you got to push through it. This is the time that, you have to do your best. You have to work your hardest, even though you don't have the energy to. You know what I'm saying? It takes something else within you to keep going, So I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting comeback. You've seen him grueling. Hopefully he can do enough of that, maybe more training. You know what I mean? But because he is an athlete. So, I mean, I think it's all about what he's accustomed to. But is his body equipped to take more to prepare him better? So we don't really know those things about Zeli Zang, so we'll see. But yeah, great footage from Zeli Zang and Sean George. I do respect any camaraderie of fighter versus trainer, that they stuck together, win, lose, or draw, and they keep it on, and they stay, and they ride this thing out together instead of, oh, I want another fresh change, and then you see someone change, and just like the Canelos. You know what I mean? So you could say that about whatever you want to say about Canelo and then Bomac. But then Bomac and Crawford, they haven't lost a fight ever. So, that's kind of, you can't really gauge that one. But like Canelo and his team with the Reynosos, they stayed loyal. You know what I mean? Because of the camaraderie, because of the chemistry between the trainer and the fighter, which I think is very impressive. And I can say the same thing about Sean George and Zeli Zang. But you guys tell me what you think of this latest footage of Zeli Zang grueling it out, going through the fire. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.